The King's Avatar, Chapter 1443, Patience. Audio source, wushaworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1443, Patience. Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. Deception was hiding inside a bush. Let alone with this fog, even without the fog, he was completely hidden. The camera zoomed in on Deception's hiding spot, but it still took a lot of effort for the viewers to find him inside the bush. This type of hiding spot was somewhat deceiving. If you didn't look carefully at that exact spot, it would be easy to miss it. However, the system summons could not be deceived in this way. If even a single strand of Deception's clothing stuck out from the bush, the summons would find him. Last time, Mofan was able to escape from a map-wide search by an army of summons. He clearly understood that the system AI was far better than real players in this aspect. He had intended to sneak attack 8 Notes by hiding in this bush. But seeing that 8 Notes still wasn't here yet, he knew that for the summons, his current hiding spot was the same as no hiding spot. As a result, he immediately came out from the bush. To avoid summons, he needed to be 100% outside of their vision. Escaping the notice of summoned spirits was more troublesome than escaping the notice of summoned beasts. The big and little spirits were balls of elemental energy, thus the structure of their bodies were uniform on all sides. In comparison, summoned beasts had eyes and noses, so their line of vision was much easier to figure out. When running from other players, you could run while peeking your head out from a corner once in a while. A player in pursuit might not notice such a small detail like half a head sticking out, but summons definitely would not. It could still be done with summoned beasts, if you knew that their back was to you. But it was best not to try it against summoned spirits, because it was hard to tell where the spirits were facing. If you snuck a glance at them, it's likely that the spirits would notice. Shaking off the pursuit of summoned spirits required fast and decisive movements. Hiding one's movements as best as possible was far better than trying to observe their movements and then coming up with a plan. After Deception came out from the bush, his movements weren't fast, but they were well hidden. He spent 80% of his time either crouching or lying flat on the ground while moving. I should really record this part. It's a masterclass on how to move around covertly. Li Yibo was full of praise after seeing Deception's movements. As for Li Yuan was in no hurry. After Deception's shadow clone technique ended, he had lost his target. However, his summons had reached their designated positions, so he didn't make any more unnecessary commands. 8 Notes seemed to just be heading carefully towards a direction. The spirits quickly stopped moving. The elemental light emitted from the spirits pulsed amidst the dense fog. They no longer seemed to be chasing after a target. Instead, they were more like landmines or traps, patiently waiting for their prey to run into them. Smart. Li Yibo suddenly yelled out. Li Yuan's current plan is much more effective than an automatic search. In a hard-to-see map like this one, a player's eyes can't compare to the system AI of summoned spirits. The immobilized spirits can react faster than Mofan. Mofan's method of dodging the spirits greatly reduces his vision. Li Yibo explained. He's been found. Quote, at this moment, Panlin discovered a change in the battle. When Deception passed between 2 trees, a little light spirit hiding in the fog suddenly started moving extremely accurately towards Deception. Mofan's been found, but he hasn't seemed to notice it yet. Panlin yelled. Deception continued to move stealthily, but he seemed to be unaware of the little spirit chasing behind him. But the little spirit is slower than him. If Li Yuan doesn't do anything, he'll probably lose sight of Deception again, Li Yibo said. Would Li Yuan not do anything? Of course not. The spirits that he had positioned were under his control. As soon as a sudden movement came about, he immediately knew that he had found a target. And in this map, there were no other targets besides deception. And from his little light spirit's movements, Li Yuan was able to deduce deception's pathing and immediately gave all of his spirits new commands. These commands weren't just to charge over. Depending on their current positions, each spirit received a different coordinate to move to. As for the spirits far away, Li Yuan gave up on them. 8 notes summoned new spirits to replace the ones far away and then commanded those spirits to rush over. The light little spirit that had first found deception really had been shaken off by deception, but 2 new little spirits had taken its place. Pan Lin and Li Yibo believed that Mo Fan had become aware of that light little spirit chasing him, which was why he had suddenly sped up to escape from its pursuit. He had escaped from it, but 2 new little spirits were biting at his heels now. What great patience! Li Yibo had a high evaluation of this match. Li Yuan had been quite patient. 8 notes had mobilized quite a few spirits. He had the max limit of 8 little spirits, as well as an ice and fire big spirit, scattered around the map. Had he taken inspiration from how Yizhu dealt with Yu Wenzu in the first round? Pan Lin and Li Yibo took back their words. This was Blue Rain's home game, and Li Yuan deserved to be part of Blue Rain's main roster. This map seemed to be unfavorable for summoners, but he was able to fully utilize it. The spirits scattered around became traps. Did it matter if Mo Fan was an expert at escaping? The spirits weren't chasing after him. All of them stood at their designated positions and then waited for Mo Fan's deception to run into them. If this were a normal map, after encountering a spirit, Mo Fan would have plenty of room to run. But the visibility in this map was low. By the time he noticed a spirit, the distance between them would be close, making it much more difficult to escape. Li Yuan fully utilized this point. Blue Rain's reason for choosing this map in the group arena was becoming more clear. Yu Wenzu and Song Xiao had tried to tire out Yi Shu. Blue Rain failed to achieve this goal, but that wasn't their only strategy in mind. They had no plans of banking all of their hopes on crushing the team competitor. Li Yuan's performance on this map illustrated this point. After Yu Wenzu and Song Xiao, Blue Rain planned on winning as many points in the group arena. From the way Li Yuan was playing in this dense fog, 8 notes appeared extremely powerful. Mo Fan didn't even know where Li Yuan was, yet he was already running for his life. After escaping 1 spirit, 2 more came. Before he could shrug off these 2 spirits, a 3rd and a 4th one came. Li Yuan had not ordered any of these spirits to give chase. He just had them stay at a certain position. But because of the terrain in this map, Mo Fan's deception kept running into more and more of them, and now, he could no longer move about freely. Substitution technique, shadow clone technique, smoke bomb, caltrops. All sorts of escape skills were used, but he just wasn't able to cleanly escape from all of them. 8 notes seemed to have an endless number of spirits. As soon as Mo Fan shook off 1 spirit, another would take its place. Compared to Mo Fan's frantic actions, Li Yuan's actions were methodical. Whether it was summoning replacement spirits or moving them around, he appeared calm and collected. WuxaWorldAudio.com. He didn't waste the spirits he would replace either. 4 big spirits were in position now. The spirit army that Mo Fan would face was becoming increasingly large. If this continues, it won't be good for Mo Fan. Li Yibo expressed his opinion. Yes, if this continues, he'll be harassed to death. Pan Lin said. Deception had taken quite a bit of damage while trying to escape. There were moments when the spirits caught up to him. What's more, the Big Ice Spirit and Big Light Spirits had long-range attacks. Suddenly, Deception stopped moving. Shuriken. Deception attacked, throwing a shuriken towards the Big Light Spirit. Then, he charged forward, not in the direction he had been running in, but backwards. Empty Cicada double kill. With his ninja blade in one hand and the sheath in the other, Deception let out 2 attacks simultaneously. ZZ. The 2 attacks hit 2 little spirits, letting out a sound like lightning. Spirits consisted of elemental energy, not flesh and blood. After being hit by attacks, they would make strange noises. Empty Cicada double kill was a powerful attack, and little spirits were extremely frail. Although it was just a single attack, their health bars dropped to nearly 0. Flame Slash. The dark little spirit didn't have a high fire resistance like fire spirits. The little ice spirit had a negative resistance against fire. Boom. Without fire resistance, neither of them could withstand the blow. A wave of fire descended, damaging the 2 little spirits' elemental energy. The fire burned for a few moments before the 2 spirits dissipated. Mo Fan isn't running away anymore. He started fighting the 2 spirits directly. Pan Lin said. He's trying to force 8 notes to come out. The spirits alone aren't enough to contest against a pro player. 8 notes will need to personally come out and take command, which would mean Deception will be able to see him. Li Yibo said. So it's like that. Sure enough, Li Yuan's 8 notes is heading over. Pan Lin shouted. The 2 players were finally in each other's line of sight for the first time in this match. Will Mo Fan directly rush towards him? Pan Lin yelled. Ah, he's rushing over. He's charging towards Li Yuan. End chapter. The King's Avatar. Chapter 1444. Breakout. Audio source. WuxaWorldAudiobook.com. Chapter 1444. Breakout. Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. Mo Fan had always been careful. There were often times where everyone thought that he could definitely continue his offense. But he would always run away and then look for another opportunity to launch a sneak attack on his opponent. Right now, his opponent was directly in front of him and spirits were all around him, yet he didn't hesitate to rush him. Direct combat. But this time, the situation's completely different. Pan Lin said. Last time was referring to the first Happy vs. Blue Rain playoffs round. Li Yuan let out all of his summons to scout the surroundings and only left a Devil World flower near him. Mo Fan's Deception beautifully dodged around the spirits and cut straight to 8 notes side. He instantly killed the Devil World flower and then attacked 8 notes. But this time, Deception had only killed 2 little spirits. He hadn't escaped from the predicament. Moreover, when Li Yuan's 8 notes prepared to personally take command of his summons, he had ordered all of his spirits to gather towards this place. He has no choice. Li Yibo had no time to give a thorough analysis and simply gave out the main reason for Mo Fan's actions. Attack. Deception rushed forward. Mo Fan may be silent and taciturn, but once he made a decision, he would take it all the way through. As a master of escape, he had a much clearer understanding of his predicament than others. If he didn't have this sort of perception, there was no way he could have been able to pick up whatever he wanted on the chaotic PK fields and then escape. He had grasped his opponent's strategy. In this map, it was indeed flawless. A person's observational abilities were far less precise than the system AI under these conditions. That was what he kept on bumping into spirits. What's more, by the time he noticed it, the spirit would already be fairly close, making escape extremely difficult. As a result, he started attacking the spirits. He recognized that today, there was no way to avoid these obstacles. If he couldn't avoid them, then his only choice was to destroy them. But after killing just 2 spirits, their owner appeared. Mo Fan wasn't too surprised. The spirits were this easy to kill because the system AI controlled them. Mo Fan wasn't so naive to think that Li Yuan would just let him slaughter his way out. Li Yuan would certainly come out and take command of the spirits. Fight the summons and the summoner together. That was Tang Ro's style. The scrap-picker-born Mo Fan had a clear goal: lock onto 8 notes. That was all he wanted to do. Anything else was a waste of time. Thus, as soon as 8 notes appeared, deception charged at him. Mo Fan's actions seemed incongruous with his usual playstyle, but it actually coincided perfectly with his usual decision-making. Storm Shuriken. Deception lifted his hand and threw out several shuriken. As he dashed at him, 8 notes, who had been in a blurry silhouette in the dense fog, became easier to see. Mo Fan saw as 8 notes waved his magic staff and finished a cast. A summoning circle appeared in front of him. The soil under the summoning circle turned into a different color. The earth split apart, and vines from a devil world flower extended out. Poo 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 poo. The shurikens were swatted down by the devil world flower. The devil world flower trembled and a vine drilled out from the ground. Sure. Deception leapt into the air. The vine tried to wrap around his ankle, but he threw out another shuriken, pinning the vine to the ground. Beautiful. Pan Lin shouted. These precise and fluid movements showed just how skilled Mo Fan was. Pan Lin just didn't understand. If Mo Fan possessed such technical skill, why was he insistent on his fireworks style? Seal. Deception quickly formed several hand seals. His 2 hands were like a blur to the eyes. The average viewer had no way of telling what seals he was forming. However, from the complexity of it, they could tell that it was a powerful skill. What is it? Ninjutsu, Exploding Flame Dragon. Mo Fan had used this level 75 skill last time to instantly kill off Li Yuan's Devil World Flower. This time, the Devil World Flower had already been hit by Storm Shuriken. An instant kill was certain. 8 notes was behind the Devil World Flower. The Exploding Flame Dragon had a large AoE and would swallow 8 notes along with the Devil World Flower. Boom. A whirling fire dragon flew out from the triangle formed from Deception's hands. However, at this moment, a wall of fire erupted, blocking the fire dragon. These flames weren't as overbearing as the dragon's flames, but they were just as restless. Big Fire Spirit. The Big Fire Spirit acted as shield for the Devil World Flower, and facing the exploding flame dragon, it rushed out to defend against it. Using a Big Fire Spirit to take the attack was perfect. Fire elemental attacks had no effect on a Big Fire Spirit. Not only did it have no effect, the Big Fire Spirit seemed to expand. Its flames danced even more wildly. Fire Blade. The Big Fire Spirit seemed to form an arm made up entirely of flames. The arm slashed downwards towards Deception. Boom. Deception suddenly went ablaze, instantly vanishing into smoke. Shadow Clone Technique. Mo Fan relied on this quick skill to avoid the fire blade and to instantly move to 8 notes back. He's behind him. Pan Lin cried out. The fast exchange between the 2 sides was too brilliant. Deception was able to successfully get to 8 notes back. Although it was hard to say how much he would be able to do with so many spirits surrounding him, he at least had the initiative during this short period of time, no. But there was nothing. The instant Deception moved behind 8 notes, a sharp thorn shot from the ground. Mo Fan had no time to react. Deception was launched into the sky as if he had been pricked in the butt by it. Thorn. The Summoner Knockup skill was completed using summoning as well. 8 notes had predicted that Deception would move behind him. Li Yuan knew that the big fire spirit's fire blade wouldn't be enough to stop Deception's advance. Pa! A crisp sound. 8 notes turned around. The magic staff in his hands seemed to have turned into a creature. It struck Deception, launching him even higher into the air. Lash. The skill was intended to be used on summons to increase their combat ability, but it could also be used as an attack against enemies. Deception had used substitution technique previously to escape from the spirits. Right now, it was still on cooldown, so he had no way of escaping. Boom boom boom. The big light spirit's attack also arrived. A bolt of lightning crackled, crashing down onto Deception. WooshOurWorldAudio.com. Amidst the dense fog, spirit after spirit emerged, gathering together. 8 notes retreated to the side, calmly commanding the army of spirits to attack Deception. He hadn't summoned a Spirit King yet. It required 4 big spirits to fuse together. It was more effective to use numbers to trap Deception. If he fused together to 4 spirits, Mo Fan might just be able to escape. Li Yuan was calm, very calm. Blue Rain's previous plans had failed to achieve their goal. Blue Rain's situation wasn't looking good either. He wasn't a senior member of Team Blue Rain, only having 1 more year of experience than Lu Hanwen, yet he seemed to have the strength of a core member, keeping the battle under his control. Deception's health rapidly fell as the spirits swarmed him, and 8 notes hadn't taken any damage. If this situation continued at this pace, this round could be considered a perfect win for Li Yuan. In an individual competition, apart from praise and a boost of morale, a perfect win was no different than a narrow win. But in the group arena, a perfect win was truly a perfect outcome. Is this going to be a perfect win? Pan Lin started having his doubts. Deception only had 42% of his health left, while 8 notes had an army of spirits at his command. The spirits had Deception completely surrounded. Under Li Yuan's personal command, the spirits circled around Deception, attacking him. Everything seemed to be going perfect for Li Yuan. Suddenly, Li Yibo's eyes lit up. Chance. Chance. Pan Lin didn't understand, but Mo Fan's Deception suddenly moved. Substitution technique. While taking hits, Deception used an escape skill. A straw dummy lay in the center of the encirclement and fell apart, while Deception's real body flashed to a different position. This abrupt movement had sent Li Yuan's army of summons into a fluster. Then, ninjutsu, shadow dance. Multiple Deceptions appeared. ZZZZ. Several little spirits were killed instantly. Mo Fan's observational skills were truly frightening. There were so many spirits, yet he was able to identify which ones had low health. These discerning eyes had been trained through years of scrap-picking. Is he going to counter-attack? Pan Lin yelled excitedly. If Li Yuan completed a perfect win, true, it would be incredible. But a match with ups and downs was more fun to watch. He's probably going to try to escape, Li Yibo said. He had seen the opportunity previously and had a clearer idea of Mo Fan's intentions. But the situation was tense, so there was no time for a more detailed analysis. The multitude of Deceptions incited chaos into the field. Suddenly, one of the Deceptions retreated. The heart of shadow dance. Everyone thought of this term. Li Yuan had no way of reforming the encirclement. If he tried to surround one of the Deceptions, the heart of shadow dance would quickly switch to a different clone. After one clone ran away, a second one took off. Deception after Deception retreated in different directions, and Li Yuan had no way of stopping them. He's going to run. Just as Pan Lin said this, the first Deception that tried to escape went shing, and turned into a block of ice. End chapter. The King's Avatar. Chapter 1445 Near Perfect. Audio source, whoosharworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1445 Near Perfect. Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. Frozen. How? Is it falling ice? Pan Lin cried out in surprise. Falling ice was the skill big ice spirits used to attack with. Currently, the camera was on the deception which had run the furthest. His form was enveloped in mist, blurry from 8 Note's point of view. Falling ice? There was no hint of any big ice spirit using that attack from the audience's omniscient view. The freeze effect from falling ice wasn't certain either. What sort of luck would you have to have in order to make sure that each hit was a freeze at such a crucial time? What was it? As everyone mired in their bewilderment, the second deception that charged turned into a block of ice with a pop. 2. Everyone remained dumbstruck, and Mo Fan began to hesitate as well. The remaining deceptions became uncertain. After spreading out, they weren't strong and were quickly destroyed by the spirits. Mo Fan paused, but knowing that there was no other choice, he had all the deception clones make a run for it. Pop 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 pop. Miraculously, all the escaping deceptions were turned into blocks of ice. At the same time, 3 clones, clearly having left the range of Shadow Dance, shattered with the ice encasing them. The shattered ice, along with the other 2 frozen deceptions, formed a circle. This circle wasn't some random circle. It had blocked Deception's escape and pulled away the heart of the Shadow Dance, causing the 3 clones to disappear at once. Ice line. Li Yibo suddenly realized, crying out his discovery. Everyone who heard this immediately understood. Ice line, the elementalist's ice line skill. An ice line would be left wherever the ice elemental power touched. The ice line would form an enchanted area within 1 second, and afterwards, whoever touched the ice line would be frozen with a 100% chance. The skill that Li Yuan had set into his 8-note staff was no longer teleportation, but ice line. It was an elementalist skill, but right now, ice line had turned into the key skill that would turn the tides. A skill set into the weapon having such a crucial effect was definitely more than worth its while. With only 2 frozen deceptions left, 8 Note's spirit army would easily surround them. Li Yuan clearly had a masterful grasp of the freeze time, replenishing his summons as he had the 2 deceptions surrounded. He didn't use this chance to summon any spirit kings. Perhaps it was because he didn't see the need, or maybe he thought that the opening created by summoning Spirit Kings would be too big for this situation. When the 2 ice blocks cracked open and the 2 deceptions charged out, the spirits immediately swarmed over. The broadcast director, thinking that nothing significant would occur, had already switched the shot to a replay of Li Yuan's 8-note using ice line. When Deception used the substitution technique to try and escape, his 8 notes began to cast ice line. Everyone, including Mo Fan, had been focused on the army of spirits, not 8 notes. This summoner, that seemed useless in a direct battle, had become the key. Switch back. Switch back. Quote. But not 2 seconds into the replay, one of his colleagues cried wildly for him to switch back to the shot of the ongoing match. What? The program director fumbled, realizing that they were probably missing a spectacular play from the other side. 2 seconds was enough for everything to change. The camera switched back to the match. Of the 2 deceptions that came out of the ice, one had already disappeared while the other was on his way to disappearing. Shadow Clone Technique. Deception, who had just escaped from the ice, immediately used Shadow Clone Technique. This real body was, naturally, the one that attempted to escape, so the 2 clones were left behind. One immediately disappeared because it left the range of Shadow Dance. The other was instantly blasted into smithereens by the siege of spirits. Deception's real body didn't escape so successfully. After that false alarm, Li Yuan didn't relax from relief, instead raising his guard, watching out for such a possibility. This time, he had considered the ninja's escaping ability when he swarmed the other with spirits. The shadow clone was instantly destroyed, but his real body didn't manage to escape immediately either. Lightning, falling ice. Under Li Yuan's personal direction, the light and ice element spirits immediately struck with their long-range skills. The two attacks were both priority attacks, blocking Deception's escape route, especially the light element large spirit's lightning. A row of lightning striking down at once formed a wall of electricity. Breakthrough forcibly. Mo Fan, with no other choice, made his choice resolutely. Without hesitation, Deception charged out straight through the lightning. The lightning struck, but Mo Fan was pretty lucky. The stun didn't activate. However, right after, a row of falling ice descended. His attack came right after the lightning. Since Deception had charged right through the lightning, he wouldn't be able to dodge this one. A chill enveloped him from head to toe. A 100% freeze. He didn't have that, but this strike had activated the 50% freeze. Deception could still move, but he had been slowed by 50%. This dangerous situation wouldn't let him take his leaving. The swarm of spirits encircled Deception completely. It wasn't that there was no way out, but there was no chance given for escape. The escape skills of ninjas had been considered when Li Yuan made these arrangements. I guess that's it. Deception's health was about to hit zero, and Li Yibo finally made this conclusion. Even under Li Yuan's careful, meticulously planned encirclement and direction, everyone watched with their hearts in their throats as Deception's health dwindled. He didn't give up. He didn't give up until the end. In the encirclement of spirits, Deception darted this way and that, trying to break out. He used all the tricks he had up his sleeve. Dart for an opening, killing his way through, open find, sounding the east while heading west. As expected of an escape artist like Mo Fan, he had a plethora of tricks and schemes. Several times, he had charged out of the encirclement, but because he was unable to fully shake off the spirits, he didn't manage to fully escape. Deception fell, but this match wasn't perfect. While he was over here trying to escape with everything he had taken the time to suddenly throw a shuriken over at 8 notes. At that time, it was very crucial that he focused on blocking Deception's way with spirits. Li Yuan's judgment was very precise. If he had 8 notes dodge and relaxed his grasp over the spirits, then Mo Fan would have gotten a chance. Thus, he didn't dodge the shuriken, and had 8 notes take the damage. WuxRWorldAudio.com. The damage wasn't much at all, and it was quite a shame, since it meant that this match wouldn't be a perfect. However, Li Yuan didn't bother pursuing this perfection, only wanting to continue the match steadily, and garnering a compliment from Pan Lin and Li Yibo. This strike became the only damage 8 notes had taken in the entire match, losing him 2% of his health. The system didn't judge it as a perfect victory, but a loss of 2% of his health was probably equal to a perfect in the eyes of the audience. The value and advantage a perfect gave wouldn't be impacted any by this loss of 2% health. The crowd erupted into cheering. Blue Rain had brilliantly made up a match after the 2 losses prior. Unfortunately, Mo Fan has lost this match, falling behind by a huge amount, Pan Lin said. This gap is only the result. If we really consider the actual progress of the match, then, while he hadn't managed to deal much damage, what sort of atmosphere surrounded this match? It was tense. Very tense. From this, it's clear that the two opponents were evenly matched. Though the result is very one-sided, but against a summoner, one successful ambush from Mo Fan could mean his victory, Li Yiba commented. That's true. Though Mo Fan lost, he performed well this match. Pan Lin agreed. Yes, and in a match of equal strength, what would become the deciding factor? The home game advantage. Li Yuan's victory was built primarily on his brilliant grasp and usage of his terrain. His playstyle and strategy was founded on this map, and his actual performance was flawless. A very spectacular battle indeed, Li Yibo said. However, the audience in the venue clearly wouldn't be able to analyze things as objectively as those two. Last round, Mo Fan had used a tree to squash their god Huang Shaoshan, and then narrowly won against Li Yuan as well. A rookie accomplishing a 1v2, especially when one of the opponents was Huang Shaoshan, was a huge blow to Blue Rain's morale. Today, his victory against Song Xiao had Blue Rain fans even more displeased. Seeing such a brilliant counterattack from Li Yuan, it would be a waste if they didn't take the chance to unleash a wave of mockery. Li Yuan was still in the player booth, so he couldn't hear the applause, so the Blue Rain fans' cheering didn't last too long. When Mo Fan walked out of the player booth and came off stage, mocking applause and jeers also arrived like a tidal wave. A rookie player generally would have a hard time facing such a situation, especially when they lost an almost perfect match to their opponent in the group arena. That was burden for the entire team and put great pressure on them. However, Mo Fan remained emotionless, as if none of this had anything to do with him, as if he were a bystander, walking right back the way he came. His reaction, or lack thereof, had the audience soon losing interest. To Mo Fan, the jeers weren't just because of the match. The ones guiding the fans in the audience stands were Blue Brook's higher-ups, and scrap picker deception had been a huge trouble to them. Some of them had even been scrap-picked by Mo Fan before and never managed to get revenge. Now that they had a chance for revenge, they would naturally put their all into guiding these jeers. Yet Mo Fan's reaction had him losing interest. Not bad. The jeers that filled the stadium didn't bother Happy's members. Yishu stood and spoke to the returning Mo Fan. You might not have dealt much damage, but you've at least depleted a lot of his mana. Yeah, Mo Fan nodded and returned to his seat. End chapter.